I'm Dawn Aziz, Director of Organization and Employee Development, and I'm here to share with leaders what they will see if they move through the screens of Cornerstone's mid-year check-in. After you log in to Cornerstone from Academica, you'll notice at the bottom right an area that says your task. And if an employee that reports to you has completed the mid-year check-in and sent it to you for your feedback, you'll see something that says this, complete manager mid-year check-in for, and that employee's name. We're going to go ahead and click on that link. And we're brought to a main page that introduces us to the 3 steps in this process. First, the employee put in their feedback saying, we're halfway through the performance year. Here's for all of my approved goals. Here's my progress so far to date. And they're going to indicate, am I on track for end of year success, or are there some barriers that I could use support on? After the employee provides that feedback, they send it to you. And here I can see this is exactly where I'm at. I'm giving my own feedback on that employee's progress. I see due dates below that activity. And I notice that there's a 3rd step. We're not complete after we give our own feedback. We should have a conversation with the employee, and the employee will also go back into Cornerstone and acknowledge receipt of your feedback, here electronically as well as ideally in a verbal conversation. You'll notice at the bottom of this screen that if you begin reviewing the performance goals and the feedback and you notice that something's missing, perhaps you thought there was an approved goal for XYZ topic and it's not here, and you just want to send the whole thing back to the employee to request a change, you can reopen the step and select it's this employee input mid-year check-in you would like a do-over on, and put some feedback in the comments of exactly what your request is. But for our sake of example, I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is a sample person in a pilot test environment, so we're really not affecting Brandy's progress in any way, shape, or form in this test. I notice in my left-hand menu that reviewing the performance goal progress is our first step. And these are each, as I scroll down the page, approved goals that were something Brandy and I had discussed, felt solid on. And I'm noticing as I'm reviewing Brandy's progress that in the comments area, Brandy indicated that she felt on track for end of year success and provided comments if she opted to. I could go right into select and provide my own progress rating, agreeing with the on track comment, or even indicating, you know what, I noticed you're at 0 progress, but I believe that was complete. Didn't we work on that last month? Or whatever, it's behind schedule, it's at risk of end of year success. So you would pick one of these progress indicators. And if you click on the green question mark, definitions for each of those indicators are available as well. So you would make a selection and you would type your own comments if you wish. And for each and every goal, you have an opportunity to do the exact same thing. Now, it's a little disappointing as a leader. I'm reviewing this and I'm noticing that these goals were agreed on, and I know action's been taken on them, but I just don't see the progress, visually on this progress bar. And maybe the comments don't fully encapsulate all the work that I know has been done already, or maybe even some of the accomplishments that you want to highlight, or areas where there was some learning that existed that you want to be sure to touch on as well. If you see that that just doesn't exist here, you have an opportunity. You could go into this drop-down arrow here, and you could click on comments or attachments to see if any updates have been made to this goal throughout the year up to this point. I could even click on manage goals. And here I'm brought to a location where I could edit this goal for Brandy directly, saying, I believe you're complete on that, so I'm going to go ahead and change your progress indicator to green, 100% complete. I could add comments. I could upload files. And I would click done if I chose to do that. Alternatively, I could simply provide my progress indicator and comments. And finally, I could click that reopen step on that first page by just going back to overview and have Brandy make some changes before I provide my feedback. So you have 3 different options if you see something like that and you just aren't quite sure about what your choices are. For sake of example here, I'm just going to go ahead and select a progress indicator. And I know you'll provide substantive feedback in each of these boxes. And I'm going to click save and continue to progress to the next page. And I noticed on this page that when we set goals, we did have a values page, and there was nothing I needed to do to set a goal on that page. But here, I have an opportunity to say at this midpoint in the performance year, the behaviors that you've been demonstrating are aligned consistently with our Wayne State values, maybe somewhat inconsistent at times or not aligned. And I can read the definitions by clicking the green arrow, green question mark here. Because what we do and how we do it are equally important. Values are what shape our culture, right? And as I look at my feedback on these values, I see also that Brandy gave her own feedback. She felt her values were aligned, and she put her comments of examples of what she had been doing in relation to the behaviors of our Wayne State values. And if you're not quite sure about those behaviors, you could just skim the list above and see these examples for inspiration. You are required to put your feedback here, sharing examples of when Brandy lived those values or any learnings and opportunities that you might want to highlight. And you'll hit save and continue to progress. We have 2 learning and development pages that were available when you set goals. The first, for professional development, relates to the knowledge and skills that are required for Brandy to be successful in her job today. And Brandy would have indicated, I set some goals to learn this because I know it's going to be important for my goal related to communication. And she would remind you about those goals in the comment box and talk about the progress that she made on those learning goals, any learnings, additional learnings that she's been having about it, ways she's applied that learning to her job today, and then any support that she's seeking from you on it. And you likewise have an opportunity to provide your feedback about those goals. And you might say, that was really smart that you wanted to work on this for communication. And now that we've gotten into it, I wonder if you've considered this. And so you might see that those goals evolve throughout the year and your feedback helps shape that. It just prompts the conversation that you'll be having with Brandy as a follow-up. And the acknowledgement of her progress, you'd give feedback on that. Acknowledgement of the support that you'd find helpful and any guidance that you'll be able to offer. You'd put comments on that. And then you hit save and continue. And finally, when it comes to learning and development, there was an opportunity for Brandy to say, I'm looking for my next career challenge. Not right away. In the short term, I'd love to do a little more of this to really utilize my skills and my interests or learn that. And long term, I might be thinking about doing more around this. And so Brandy provided a reminder of any career development goals and progress that she's made up to this point. Now, she may have no comments here, and there would be no box whatsoever in this gray shaded area. And that's okay too, because we knew it was optional. And we hit save and continue. You have now made it to the one kind of overall progress page in this process. Here, you're asked in a red, yellow, green kind of dashboard way to say, when you consider the values and behaviors that Brandy's been demonstrating, the accomplishments that she's had on her performance goals, and the learning that she continues to do, overall, how likely is it that Brandy is on track for end of year or annual review success? Green, she's on track. Yellow, she is just a little behind schedule, and we can work on that now to help prepare her to be successful at the end of the year. And red is she's at risk. There's some real serious obstacles that may be getting in her way of a final annual review that features success. And so you'll pick your selection, and you can review those definitions by clicking on the green question mark. And you are required to put some final overall feedback here as well, sharing examples and maybe the impact that Brandy's had over these first 6 months of the performance year. And then you'll hit save and continue. On this final page, it's your opportunity to actually sign this mid-year check-in with your name. You can just type your name to sign it. You can or cannot put comments in here. It's completely your choice. And when you hit submit, you'll be asked to hit submit once more. And you'll notice that you will not have an opportunity to make changes once you hit submit for the second time. And you say, I feel good about it, I'll hit submit. When I do this, Brandy will get an email saying that feedback is available for her to review. It would be a great opportunity for you to schedule the time to discuss that feedback as well. And when you're brought back to the main landing page, we're only in a pilot environment. We're really not playing the role of Patrick Saunders for real. You would see under the Your Task that complete mid-year check-in for Brandy is no longer on your landing page. You're successful. Brandy has it now in her hands to review. She will need to ideally speak with you, review it, and acknowledge receipt of that feedback for this to be complete. I hope you found this overview helpful as you just move through this brand new process that we've put into the performance management process itself in Cornerstone. It was one of the key features that the performance management redesign team felt really passionate about. And it was ensuring that no employee felt surprised at the end of the year by an annual review rating because they didn't have a chance to hear your thoughts. They thought they were doing great. You thought they were having an opportunity for improvement. And so waited maybe till the end of the year to talk about that. Here, halfway through the year's their chance to make changes so that they can be prepared for a great annual review. And I hope that you're experiencing this process as well. If you have questions at all, please reach out to your HR consultant, and always feel free to reach out to OED and myself as questions arise as well. We thank you for all you do for the campus.